Welcome back to the channel. Today, Eagle Hunters. So, Eagle Hunters is a song by the band Forlorn Hope from the album Over the Hills. I hope you know that by now. I've done a whole bunch of these. You can check out the playlist. I don't know, there'll be a playlist thing somewhere. You can find it. It's on the channel. You know how to use YouTube. Eagle Hunters is about the guys in this picture here, which is the cover art for the band and the cover art for the album. We know their names. You'll hear the names in the song. It's actually quite a remarkable story. The Sharp is famous for having captured a French eagle. Of course, Sharp didn't exist because he's a character, and he didn't capture. No one captured an eagle at Talavera. It was many years later. It was 1811 by the time I think it was 1812. By the time the first eagle was actually taken by the British. The British took a number of eagles in the peninsula. So they took this one, which has bullet holes in it, and you can still see it today. Here's a picture. You can actually go and see this eagle today if you'd like. And they took another one, but then the British thought that it was gold, and then the British soldiers who took it cut it up, and they found out it was actually just gold plating, and then they destroyed it. Oops. Probably better not to do that. Okay, a point on the French eagles. They were surrounded by sergeants with halberds, like actual proper axes. So to get a French eagle was a big thing, not only because it was normally the thing that led the battalion, so the battalion was retreating, the eagle would go first. But also because there's a bunch of really pissed off, massive sergeants around it with giant axes. And a battalion that lost its colours would be shamed, and you would fight to the death to not lose your colours. The guys carrying the banners would be the ensigns. Ensigns would have been young soldiers, like young officers, sorry. So they're really full of piss and vinegar and, I'm not going to let you take this, and they have pistols and all sorts of stuff. So, yes, taking an eagle is not an easy thing to do. Most of them get taken by cavalry or in, complete overruns. 1811. 87th, tangent, I know, sorry, tangent. My skirmishing sharp practice fourth is actually the 87th. A complete tangent, I apologise for that, but yeah. The Irish 87th, it's one of the few regiments with green cuffs, and Barossa, 1811, as you heard. So the main guy we're talking about is here, Sergeant Patrick Masterson. Live forever. They have really catchy choruses. So basically, Patrick Masterson, and he has an ensign who gets killed immediately, a lieutenant who gets killed immediately with him. So the other guy is, not a big part of the story apart from getting killed. But Masterson just cuts his way through into the middle of this French column and this French guard force around an eagle. He became actually quite famous, as you can imagine, cutting your way through a French column and taking an eagle. So I won't go into Barossa. I don't think it's the right time to go into Barossa here. It's actually quite rare that we get individual heroism stories from the Napoleonic Wars. Most of the individual heroism comes from things like World War II or Vietnam, or things like that, or the American stuff where it's very small units. Whereas here we're actually seeing a proper sergeant just being a badass, which is not rare in the Napoleonic Wars, but it's rare that it's actually recorded, and it's rare that we know so much about it. So I love that they've included this as their cover art. It's awesome. This happens a lot. You will hear this so much when you read accounts of colours being taken. Someone grabs the colour and then immediately is killed. So, in this case, Ensign Keogh grabs the colour, takes it off the enemy, and then probably a sergeant just cuts him down with a halberd or he gets shot. This happens all the friggin' time. If you get to put in a time machine and go back to the Napoleonic Wars, and you get a chance to steal a colour, be the second man to touch it, because the first guy always gets killed because someone's around with a loaded musket and they just put that one shot off, or like someone kills a guy and then you get to stab him and then take the banner. It's such a death sentence to be the first person to pick up a color. It happens all the freaking time. It's Patrick Masterson, Sergeant Masterson, and Ensign Keogh. Yeah, don't grab the thing, because you are going to be killed. It's going to say touched by Napoleon's hand. The story with these, the eagle comes from Rome, of course, like the Roman eagles. That was Marius. One part of Marius' reforms was he took all the stuff away and gave each regiment an eagle. Was that Marius or an emperor? Anyway, it was a Roman thing to have an eagle as your standard. And there's stories of like in the when Caesar invaded Brittany. When Caesar invaded Britain, he got one of his eagle bearers threw his eagle off. Aquila threw his eagle off. Aquila means eagle. Aquila was the guy who carried it in the Roman army. He actually threw it off the ship and jumped down and started walking out, and the rest of the army forced to follow him. And so for the French, the eagle was touched by the Napoleon himself. A lot of the times you see it without the flag. That's perfectly accurate. A lot of the times the French would literally just take the eagle into battle. They would leave the flag back in the depot, whereas the British would almost always have their flags with them. British have the King's colour and the regimental flag. The King's colour goes on the right, the regimental flag on the left. So anyway, yeah, it's a gold-plated steel, metal, copper of some kind, depends on the eagle, but it's a gold-plated eagle touched by Napoleon himself, and it was a big deal to capture these things. I think the British Army is the only force in the Napoleonic Wars never to have lost a colour permanently in battle. I believe that's true. They're the only army never to suffer a major reversal. Poor Ensign Keogh. Poor Ensign Keogh. Don't run to get... I can call him a lieutenant. Don't run and grab these banners, man. They just kill you. Although, was it 100 and... It's now 209 years afterwards. People are still talking about you, so I guess maybe it was worth it. Without fear. I'm not sure they're without fear. I'd be terrified. But certainly a ballsy thing to do is to charge a bunch of friggin' sergeants with giant axes. And when I say halberds, I don't mean those like spadroon, like pointy things. I mean actual axes. I'll put a photo up here. Legitimate axe halberds, not these pokey sticks. Not those pokey sticks that the British Army love to give to their sergeants. The spadroons, by the way, that's what they're called. Anyway, that was the Eagle Hunters, and I really wanted to do this one just to explain the cover art and go into the story that we actually do have individual heroism for the Napoleonic Wars. If you'd like to hear more individual heroism, you can check out my videos on La Haye Sainte, where we talk about people like Privateman Lindau running around. Private Lindau, Rifleman Lindau, is probably one of the greatest like Call of Duty style, hold fast nations at war style, first person shooter mil sim guys of the Napoleonic Wars. He's up running around. He goes, yeah, a guy stuck his musket through the thing, so I grabbed it and stabbed him and just shot him. And then when La Haye Sainte finally falls, he kills like 3 people with a bayonet, sticks in a 4th guy, it breaks. He gets pushed over, clubs a man to death with his rifle, gets grappled by this giant Frenchman, flips him onto one of another guy's bayonet, kills him with somebody else's bayonet. Private Lindau is friggin' epic. He almost gets killed by a British artillery shell too. It's really, really cool. Private Lindau's awesome. You should check out the La Haye Sainte videos if you haven't already. So thanks very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.